Hello students, you might have all watched the electricity topic. So here in this topic we will see about the numericals or the problems, how to solve the problems with respect to the chapter electricity. So let's move on to this. So let's start with two bulbs have ratings 100 watt, 220 watt and 60 watt, 220 volt respectively. So which one has the greater resistance? So initially you need to put up the formula for each of the problems that you are solving. Then if you know where to substitute these, you need to substitute, then you should solve the problems. So power, the P is equal to VI is equal to V square by R. So for the same, what is given is V and R is inversely proportional to P. So therefore, bulb 60 watt and 220 volt has a greater resistance. So moving to the next one. A torch bulb has a resistance of 1 ohm when cold. So it draws a current of 0.2 ampere. So it's A ampere from a source of 2 volt and it glows. So what do you need to calculate now? That is the resistance of the bulb when glowing, and you need to explain the reason for the difference in the solution. So let's start with that. What happens when the bulb glows? So let's write the formula. So V is equal to IR. So voltage is equal to current by resistance, current into resistance. As per the Ohm's law, R is equal to V by I. So need to substitute here 2 by 0.2, that is 10 ohms. So how you can see the second one, the reason of difference in the solution. So resistance of a filament of bulb, it increases with increase in temperature. So you might have seen in your home that the filament of a bulb, if you let it glow for some time and touch it, so by mistake if you touch also, it will be too hot. So you can see that filament of a bulb, wherein resistance of filament of a bulb increases with increase in temperature. Hence, when it glows, its resistance is greater than when it is cold. So next one, we'll see this. An electric bulb draws a current of 0.8 ampere and works on 250 volt on the average of 8 hours a day. It's 8 hours a day. So what you need to find is, it's the power consumed by the bulb, and if the electric distribution company changes rupees 5 for 6 kilowatt hour, that is kWh. So what is the monthly bill for 60 days? For 60 days you should calculate the monthly bills. So first what you need to do is how much power is consumed. So let's start with it. So before starting with the problem, you should note down whatever is given, then you should write certain sentence related to the question, then you can solve the problem. So power of the electric bulb is given by P is equal to VI. So it's like you are substituting here 0.8, that is V is 0.8, then into 250. So the current is 250, that equals to 200 watt, or you can give it as 0.2 kilowatt, wherein 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watts. So now you will see the total energy consumption by the bulb in how many days is the question? It is 60 days. So its energy consumption, E is equal to P into T, that is power into time. So you need to substitute here 0.2, that is 0.2 into 8 into 60. So how many hours a day they have given? It is 8. That is what you are substituting here as 8. So 0.2 into 8 into 60, that is 96 kilowatt hour. So what will be the cost now? So they have asked the cost or the monthly bill. So it is 5 into 96 by 6. So it is rupees 80. So next is how can 3 resistors of resistances, 2 ohm, 3 ohm and 6 ohm be connected to a given resistor? So it is, A question is 4 ohms, B question is 1 ohm. So how are you going to connect it? So for 4 ohm resistance, so first question 4 ohm resistance. So here we can see that how you can connect. They have given 2 ohm, 3 ohm and 6 ohm. So you will get 4 ohm. How you will get 4 ohm is what? Is 3 ohm and 6 ohm resistance can be connected in parallel. So it will be, so 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. That is the formula for resistor in parallel. So you can see this combination is connected to resistors in 2 ohm resistor. So 3 ohm and 6 ohm that will be connected to 2 ohm will give you the answer as 4 ohm. So next, so for 1 ohm resistance, what will be you using that? All these resistors when connected in parallel, so 3 ohm, 6 ohm and 2 ohm, when they are togetherly connected in parallel, and when you calculate it, like 1 by Rp or 1 by resistance in parallel is equal to 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 2, you should get the equivalent resistance as 1 ohm. So next one. So what is the highest, the lowest total resistance that can be secured by, how they can be secured by combining or combinations of 4 coils. What are the 4 coils given as resistances? 4 ohm, 8 ohm, 12 ohm and 24 ohm. So let's start with the first one. For the highest resistance, you need to connect the resistors in series. So for highest resistance, you should connect in series. So what's the formula for series? So RS. So RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3, and how many is there till Rn? So you can see R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4. So it's easier. So 4 plus 8 plus 12 plus 24. So your resistance is 48 ohms. So let's see this question. An electric motor takes 5 ampere from a 220 volt line. So determine the power of the motor and energy consumed in 2 hours. So what you need to find out? It's the power and the energy consumed. So let's write the formula of power. Power is equal to VI, that is voltage into current. So it is P is equal to 220 into 5. So 5 ampere, that's you are substituting here. So your power is 1100 watts. So unit given as watts. So next we need to find out energy. Energy is equal to power into time, that is 1100 into 2 into 3600 seconds, that is for 2 hours. So you can see that it is 39,60,000, wherein it's 3.96 into 10 to the power of 6 joules. So that's why here I have written it as 10 to the power 6. That is equal to 3.96 into 10 to the power of 3 kilojoules. So next, so let's see here, an electric lamp of 100 ohm, a toaster of resistance 50 ohm and a water filter of resistance 500 ohm are connected in parallel. So parallel means one below the other. So you can see that to a 220 volt source. So what is the resistance? So what is the resistance? Already they have asked what is the resistance of an electric iron connected to the same source. So if it's connected to the same source, that takes as much current as that 3 appliances. So it takes current almost the same as the 3 appliances. Then what is the current flowing through it? So let's see here, the electric iron will be equivalent to resistance to the same as it is 100 ohm, 50 ohm and 500 ohm resistors that is connected to the parallel. So, the current or the resistance will be same for the electric iron. So, we will write it as, let it be as R, that is capital letter R ohm. So, hence it is 1 by R equals to, you will substitute here with the formula of parallel, that is 1 by 100 plus 1 by 50 plus 1 by 500. So, you will be getting here that R is equal to 500 by 10. So, it is 31.25 ohms. Also, current given as I is equal to V by R. So, it is 220 by 31.25. So, you can see here that current is equal to 7.04 ampere. Next. So, next is how many 176 ohm resistors in parallel. So, how many 176 ohm resistors in parallel are required to carry 5 ampere on 220 volt line. So, you need to substitute it with the equation of parallel, that is resistors in parallel. So, suppose we take it as n resistors of 176 ohm. They have not mentioned how many 176 ohm resistors. So, we will take it as n. They are connected in parallel. So, by substituting here 1 by R is equal to 1 by 176 plus 1 by 176 so on n times. So, it is 1 by R is equal to, so n, you will write it as n by 176, or so reciprocate R, directly resistance is equal to 176 by n ohms. So, now by Ohm's law, what is Ohm's law states? R is equal to V by I, or it is 176 by n equals to, they have given as 220 by 5. So, it is 176 into, you are cross multiplying 176 into 5 by 220, that is 4. So, how many resistors you need? You need 4 resistors to be connected. So, next it is about draw a schematic diagram of a circuit consisting of a battery. So, it should consist of a circuit with a battery of 3 cells of 2 volt each. So, how much volt each? 2 volt each. A 5 ohm resistor, one 5 ohm resistor, one 8 ohm resistor and 12 ohm resistor, and it should also consist of a plug key. All the series, all the connectivity should be in series. So, how are you going to draw this? So, you should draw the resistors first, that is 5 ohm, 8 ohm, 12 ohm. Then you need to connect to the battery. How much it is? They have given as 3 cells of 2 ohm. 1, 2, 3, 3 cells of 2 ohm. So, here to your left hand side it is positive terminal and to your right hand side it is negative terminal. So, you need to have a plug here or a key. Then you need to draw the circuit and current flows from in a clockwise direction. So, this is the schematic representation. So, let us go to the next slide. So, there are 3 resistors joined in series in a system having resistance which is equal to 10 ohm, 20 ohm and 30 ohm respectively. If the potential difference of the circuit, is 240 volt, find the total resistance. What you need to find? You need to find the total resistance and the current I through the circuit. So, let us see what is given. So, given is R1 resistance is given, R1 10 ohm, R2 20 ohm, R3 30 ohm and voltage is 240. So, resistance R you need to find out, that is total resistance R you need to find out. So, current through the circuit also you need to find out. So, what according to Ohm's law says, total resistance in a series is sum of resistance of the resistors. So, how you should write? R is equal to 10 ohms plus 20 ohms plus 30 ohms, it is 60 ohms totally. So now we know that electric current. So what is electric current's formula? I is equal to V by R. So I is equal to 240 volts plus 60 ohms. So it is, so divided by 60 ohms, it is 4 ampere. So thus total resistance is equal to 60 ohms. A piece of wire. So next is a piece of wire of resistance R is cut into 5 equal parts. It's cut into 5 equal parts. So these parts are then connected in parallel. So resistance, a long wire is given, then it is cut into equal parts, then you are going to join it into parallel. If the equivalent resistance of combination is R dash, then the ratio R by R dash is. So they have given the options here, 1 by 25, 1 by 5, 5 or 25. What is your answer? So here it's the long wire R. So you have cut into equal parts, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it will be R by 5. So we know that R is directly proportional, resistance is directly proportional to the current. So initial resistance of the wire is R ohms. So when wire is cut into 5 pieces, how much it becomes? The resistance will become 1 by 5th of the resistance of each piece of wire. So after cut into pieces, it becomes R by 5 ohms. So you know the answer now, it is 1 by 5 ohms. So that's all about this topic or the numericals with respect to electricity. We'll continue in the next video.